Everybody loves a perfect theme song, a melody that stays inside your heart. You might have a nice show and others may think so, but if you want a great connection right from the start, then you gotta have a perfect theme song, so everyone can sing along from home. And while they are singing, the ratings you'll bring in, all because the melody is stuck in their head. You can make the bridge sound Jewish, that would be fine, long as it's familiar but newish. Everyone's falling in line, all because you got a perfect theme song, accompanying the audience for years. And when the show is over, it won't be the end, because the perfect theme song's a life-lasting friend. And speaking of friends, here's your host and MC, 'cause Mondays with Marcus is now a live stream. Whoa, 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 yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mondays with Marcus. I'm your host, Marcus Goldhaber. And just like that, it's Monday again. How was your weekend? Did you have a relaxing time? We got a little bit of spring here in New York City. Usually in New York City, we get about a week of spring before it gets all sticky and sludgy and kind of summery. And a lot of people like that. I tend to gravitate towards the cooler, brisker temperatures, having grown up in Buffalo, New York. We got back then 4 seasons, although that's changing now too. But it was nice to get outside and feel the sun on my face, and I hope you all got to do that as well. I'm sending you all kinds of good vibes as we transition now. Of course, the big news is that there have been a lot of restrictions lifted, and so people are feeling a little bit more of a release as they get to go outside if they've been fully vaccinated. And I just want to take a moment right at the start to just say that whatever that process is like for you is okay. So let's just get that out of the way. I'm pretty excited. I'm getting my second shot tomorrow. And so then I will have some as full a immunity as I can get a couple of weeks from tomorrow as well. So that's exciting. Now, I'd like to welcome you all to the show, wherever you are tuning in from. Some of you are making dinner, you're driving home, driving somewhere, or you're just sitting in front of your device and you're watching. And if you are, you're in good company, because that's what I'm doing. Um, we've been following a story. This is disclaimer, not a news program, but we've been following a story here that I do want to keep you abreast about with all kinds of updates as I get them in, hot off the press. Um, have you heard about this planet nearby called Mars? It's pretty exciting. We've been following what's been going on with Perseverance and Ingenuity, of course, the robot and helicopter on planet Mars. And there was a huge development. Last week, I told you about how they had created a device to create oxygen and convert carbon dioxide into oxygen, and got about 8 minutes out of that. Well, now the latest update last Friday, they flew the helicopter again further and longer than they had before. And I want to get this right, so I'm going to look at my notes here. This was its fourth flight, and it went 117 seconds, and that's up from 80 seconds. And this one flew at 8 miles an hour. And so, for all you marathoners out there, you had a helicopter, flying right at your side. So this allowed them to extend the mission for 30 more days, and or sorry, 30 more Martian days, and which is an important distinction to make. See, on Mars, when you go, you need to know that you get about 40 extra minutes per day. Or sorry, per week, I think. No, it is per day. Yeah, that's right. 40 extra minutes per day, and which gives you about 4.5 hours, if my math is correct, a week. So, for those of you folks out there who are sitting around doing your jobs and just think, God, I wish I had more time. When you get to Mars, you'll have it. So there you go. That's my update on Mars. I also want to mention that throughout the program today, you'll be hearing me call out to a good buddy of mine named Seth. Seth. Hey, Seth, put that up. Hey, Seth, can you mind? Well, who's Seth? Seth is a great friend of mine who's been helping me with tech support, and I'd love to introduce him to you now. So, Seth, if you wouldn't mind, come on and say hello. Hey,
Howdy.
Seth, how are you, Seth?
I'm doing okay, and you?
I'm doing just great. I'm happy to be here with you and the gang here on Monday. I'm really excited for our guest today. He's really shy. I got to warn you. He doesn't like to talk a lot, and so I'm gonna have to really pull a lot out of him. So, if I need some help, I'll let you know. Um,
Okay, I'm here.
you're
I'm
here
here
for
for you.
Thank you so much. Well, I am super grateful that you are here for me each week. It's a pleasure building this platform with you and getting to connect with you on a regular basis too. So, and I might say your beard is looking nice. It's
Oh, thank you very much.
coming in
It's
very
the
nice.
I don't want to shave beard.
I think I have one of those razors.
Fashionable
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
covoid.
Well, it does you proud. So, well, excellent. Well, you and the beard, you hang in there, and I hope you enjoy yourself. And if anyone out there has any questions for Seth, feel free to put those questions in the comment box. Which is, speaking of which, where I'd love you to just locate on your device wherever you're watching right now. I know some of you have texted me that you're putting me up on your giant smart TVs, which is fun. And so I don't know where the comment box is on that. And maybe you've got a little remote control that you can just speak your questions into it because who wants to go through all the work of typing out a question? It's so much. Anyway, but locate your comments section wherever it is on your device. For our guest later on, we'll be taking some questions and I'd love to hear, um, where you are, what your thoughts are, in addition to your questions for my guest, whose name I shall announce shortly. Um, but before we do that, oh look, we got some greetings coming in. Of course, my family is amazing, and they're always first in the door and last to leave. And I'm so grateful for them. And so my dad is saying greetings from Cape Cod, and oh man, how I wish I could be in Cape Cod. I am very fond of sand dunes and salty air. Uh, and actually recorded that song on my first album. But I do miss it there. And hey, it's Scott Barbarino. Scotty Barbarino, da 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 da. Listening here in New York City. Well, thanks so much for listening, Scott. I miss your face. I haven't seen you in a very long time, and I hope you're doing well. So we're introducing a couple of new bits in this episode. One is coming up, and this is something that I wanted to offer as a way to give you a little something more to do, so you're not just sitting there listening to me yabber and try and get some interesting conversation out of my upcoming guest, who again, oh, he's super shy. Anyway, too much, too much, yeah. Anyway, so here's a bit that I like to offer that will allow you to take a screenshot of me during the show, and I challenge you and invite you to find the silliest moment, the silliest face that you think you can grab, and then send it on over to me, and we'll feature it in the following week. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is silly screenshots. That's fun, right? How much time did I spend making that graphic? No, I'm kidding. I hired a whole team to put that together. No, I didn't. But the idea is very simple, as I said. Yeah, take a screenshot of me during the show and send it on in to the email address I love Mondays with Marcus at gmail.com. I think we may have that up there, Seth. If you, hey, look at that. Send that screenshot in to I love Mondays with Marcus at gmail.com, and we'll be sure to feature that in the upcoming episodes each week. And if you are the winner, oh man, lots of prizes. I mean, you remember when the DJs used to carry the bag of those toys around? They'd toss out during all the bar and bat mitzvahs that you all went to growing up. I know you all had that experience. Well, at least my upcoming guest I know did. And anyway, well, this is going to be better than that, if you can imagine. Anyway, so that's silly screenshots. I hope you will have fun with that throughout the show, and I can't wait to see what you send me. And now, bit number two, we are introducing for the first time this week. Some of you who are American songbook fans, you know that a lot of these songs have a portion written at the start of the song, and it's called a verse. And a lot of these verses were written to fill screen time in an old movie because they had to kind of segue into the song, or they wanted to have the songwriters set up the song to before they launch into the main body of the song, and it sort of gives a foundation. And anyway, so that verse were the verses were always sung in the movies, but they never really made it to the records. And some of the really good ones did, and Sinatra's famous for recording the Stardust verse on its own, but most of the verses have fallen to the wayside. I happen to love the verses. I always have, and I've always tried to put them in my shows. And it's a fun moment as the audience is trying to guess what song you're singing if you haven't told them beforehand. And then you get to the end of the verse and you get into the main part of the song that's more recognizable. And it's a beautiful moment of connection. So I thought, hey, wouldn't it be fun to have that moment here? So we're gonna do something called, Seth, if you're ready, name that verse. And here we are. And I'm telling you, you think I spent a lot of time on the last graphic. How about that one? So, what I'm going to do for you now is I'm going to play for you just the verse of a song, and you're going to get to guess what it is. Now, if you know the song, and some of you American songbook fanatics out there will know this one, I'm starting on the easier side because it's our first one. And you're going to put it in the comment box. First person to put the right title in the comment box is going to get their choice of a free Marcus Goldhaber CD. And I'm going to make a donation to Samaritans, either in your name or anonymously. So if you are the first person to guess it, then that shall be your splendor. So if you're ready, here we go. Was it in Tahiti? Were we on the Nile long, long ago? Say an hour or so. I recall that I saw your smile. And that's all you get for today. I'm going to switch back over to, there we go. And it's okay. We're still working on the transition back. We didn't talk about that one, Seth. That's my fault on that. But now you've got the verse. You had it once. Maybe next time I'll do it twice if you need it. But first person to give me the right title will get a free Marcus Goldhaber CD. And of course, I'll make a donation to Samaritans in your name. Okay, now we're saying hello to the Artists in Partnership Inc., watching here in Williamsburg, Virginia. Well, that's beautiful. I've been to Virginia a few times. I I drove through Virginia the first time I ever went to Virginia, and the roads are so wide open and glorious, and it was just beautiful. And I'll never forget that. It was during the springtime as well. It made me really just like opened up my heart driving through Virginia. So here's to Virginia and its beautiful open roads. Scott Barbarino has a guess here for the verse that I just sang, and Scott guesses, "You belong to me." But Scott, that is not correct. But thanks for playing and keep trying as I prepare to introduce my next guest. My guest today, oh boy, you're in for a treat. This gentleman hails from Wayne, New Jersey, small town. You might have heard of it. I actually don't know if it's a small town. I've never really been there, but he'll tell us. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy, he does it all. He sings, he acts, he dances, he teaches, he does puppetry, magicianry. I said that. You're right. He does everything. Please put your right and left hand together several times and welcome to Mondays with Marcus, Mr. Danny
Hello,
Bacher.
hello, hello.
Danny Bacher, where the wind comes rushing down the plain. Danny
One of my
Bacher.
very nice, one of my favorite songs. Yes, I am very shy, and I don't know. I'm now having regrets that I even agreed to do this. I'm kidding.
I,
That's great about Mars. 40 an extra. You know what would do an extra 41 minutes?
I didn't say 41. I said 40. Maybe you get yourself a hearing aid.
That's what
I'm
I would do. I would buy. I don't know. You're speaking. I thought you said 41, so it's only an extra 40 minutes.
it's now. Oh, so 41 is luxurious, but
Yeah,
40 is
forget it.
like
I'm not going to
forget
Mars now.
it.
I'm not.
Not
That's
worth
it.
it.
I'm done with Mars. If it was 41, I'd be on the next. I'd be on the next rocket when they
Yeah,
have it.
exactly. Well, Elon called and he was asking about you,
Yeah.
and
No,
he
tell,
said he
tell
had an extra
Elon. Tell
spot, but
Elon to
not
find
worth it.
another guinea pig, as they say. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, absolutely.
Do
Well,
they
that's
say
good to
that?
know. I don't know if they say that, but I just had a nice thought about going to Mars with you someday.
Wouldn't that be
Um,
nice?
I think
Fly me to the moon. Instead of
well,
Mars, we'll say fly me to the moon. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars, right? We got
yeah,
some lines from some
skip
classic
all that.
songs.
Just fly me to Mars.
In fact, if you
Nonstop.
can guess what the name of that song, folks, Marcus will give an anonymous donation to me. We're thinking like at least four figures.
Oh, four figures. Yeah, I got some figures around here I can give you.
Oh,
I got
good,
like
good.
a
Any Star Wars
candle over
figures?
there I can give you. Give you one of these posters on the wall. I got lots of
Tell
figures.
me where you are right now, because is this like something you built? You're
Excuse
like
me.
in like a bunker.
I'm the one who asks the questions around here.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry. That's
no, no,
right.
no. So
Mondays
yeah,
with Marcus.
I am in a bunker of sorts. This is my studio. This is my creative den here. And so what you're noticing above me here, which is it's very very protective because they don't let me out much. So
Yeah, I
um,
was gonna say it's like a James Bond movie, like
in case I get very
Mr.
excited.
Bond, Mr. Bond, the ceiling went up.
Oh man, folks, this is what you're gonna get. I don't even know if I'll get to a single question that I wanted to ask Danny, but this is why.
We
Just
we
grab
riff,
from the
we riff,
depot.
right, Marcus? Tell them that we riff from the old days in the Friars Club.
Listen,
We
don't
like to
give it
riff.
away.
Okay.
All right. So what did you ask me? Where am I? I am in this creative den. I did put some soundproofing here up on this ceiling here. Above me is actually storage and a bed. And so that I did to create this room. Um,
Storage and a bed.
well, I use it for there's some storage space on one side, and there's the bulk of it is a bed. Is
You're in Manhattan, right? You could probably rent that for about 4,500 a month.
I used to. I used
You
to
did?
actually. Yeah, I
Okay.
absolutely did. And then it was a great sort of uh, combining of events. It was very fortuitous because I knew that with the pandemic and whatnot, having roommates come in or whatnot, or renting the room out wasn't going to be a feasible option. And I've
Right.
been wanting to create this kind of space in my home as well for a very long time.
Mm.
To I got a vocal booth in here for a lot of the voiceover work I do. I
Yeah.
got my piano. I've got all kinds of gear for this kind of operation. So anyway, so it's proven really helpful. And well, that's all the time we have today, folks.
Thank you so much, and good night.
on
Yeah,
ti-
this
and
is
listen, are you
fascinating. Just
watching? Are you watching? By the way,
No, but I'm
CNN.
very sorry I asked you the question where you were.
That'll teach you to ask me questions. Oh boy, it's going to be a 4-hour show today, folks. Um, so
Yeah.
uh,
If we only had that
the,
extra 40 minutes from Mars, we'd do something.
we don't. So CNN is doing a great late night. They're doing a great special on late night now. The beginning of late night. I don't know if you watching it or whatnot, but they just premiered it last night. Small little plug, I guess, but they're talking about the beginnings of late night, Jack Parr and the whole
Oh,
like
sure.
the very beginnings and the format and whatnot. Anyway, it's fantastic and it's fresh in my mind. You would love it. You
I'm
you would
sure I
have.
would. I love the old Jack Parr
All
stuff.
right.
It's
So
great.
Danny, let's get to some questions. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Now it says here on my notes that we're friends.
Oh,
That
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's
I think that was I forgot who told me this, to agree with that, but
that's
I
it's gotta that has to have been hard for you.
being your friend.
Yeah, that has to
Well,
have been tough.
it's got it like any emotional roller coaster. It's got its ups and downs,
Yeah.
and its benefits. I'm still looking for those, but I feel like they're
All right. In all seriousness, ever since I've known you, you've always been someone who's doing something. You're always teaching, performing, or teaching, or performing, or teaching, or performing. You're
sometimes
always
performing and teaching.
sometimes performing and teaching. You're always doing something. So, you know, when the pandemic hit, um, from my vantage point, it didn't really seem like you took much of a pause. But, was there a moment where you said to yourself, wow, everything I was doing, I can't do anymore. The things I used to do, da, 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 I can't do those things anymore. And it's a dangerous place out there. I got to reconfigure my life. Was there a pause? If so, how long before you just really, turned the corner?
It's funny. I remember the minute the shutdown happened, and I started watching as gigs and touring started to fizzle. And I'm
Hmm.
thinking, oh, there goes that, there goes that. I remember talking to my wife, Erin, who you know well, saying, what the hell am I going to do? What do we do as artists? There's the whole like, okay, well, you look into like unemployment, you look into all these things. And of course, there are a lot of things being offered through the government that would help, But I really realized that how quickly I didn't have time to even go there for long and get worried, because immediately I started to, as artists, we have to reinvent ourselves constantly, or think of ways to enhance what we do, change things up, change the game. And that's kind of what I did. Like, as you mentioned, teaching. I think a lot of people in my performance life, in the world that I live in as an artist and a performer, they don't necessarily all know that side of me, that I work with kids and I do some teaching. I guess I would say I'm more of a teaching artist by title than an actual teacher, a classroom teacher. Like my brother now, as you know, my brother for many years doing comedy with me and working as my partner. He's working, full time now as a teacher in Jersey City. He teaches kindergarten. For me, it's with a company called the Educational Arts Team in Jersey City, New Jersey, and we run an arts camp in the summertime called Camp Liberty, and we in a normal year we put on shows, and we do like
Right.
teach the kids vaudeville, teach them magic, and teach them theater and improv. That's kind of what my brother and I both do in the summers when we're working at this camp. And the company that runs that also during the year does in-school workshops. So what we'll do is we'll do arts integration into the curriculum and teach improvisation skills, and but while working with their curriculum. So it's a lot of language arts stuff, and a lot of very interesting sort of specially developed skills that we've worked on, that we teach not only the kids but also professional development for the teachers, and it's quite wonderful. So a lot of SEL stuff this year.
I was just gonna bring that up. So one of the techniques that you work on with kids is called SEL. Why don't you tell the folks what SEL is? Because I think it's really special and
Well, I mean,
beautiful work
basically,
you're
and
doing.
it's such an interesting thing. People all kind of are interested in. It deals with social emotional learning, right? Is what it stands for. And basically, what we're doing is we're going into the classroom. Well, not anymore. Virtually going into the classroom. At least for this last 14 months, and working with kids on like topics like bullying, sort of anti-bullying, how to deal with uh, with a bully or someone that's giving them a hard time, but also how it's sort of like self-reflect. SEL learning is a lot about like self-reflection too, on how to handle a situation, okay, and how you would react to something, how things affect you, being aware of self-aware of how this whole situation with the pandemic has affected the kids, really. I mean, being all of a sudden isolated from going to hang out with their friends, and all of a sudden no longer interacting with children and fellow students in school, and now they're seeing everybody on a screen like we're doing. So it's taken a big toll on a lot of kids. More, I mean, yes, they are resilient, but I think the fact that we're bringing this up and starting to talk about this with the kids in a fun way, in a way where they can kind of like be free and artistic, and draw things and write things. We do a lot of writing, a lot of creative writing, a lot of improv scenes where we're kind of like creating, they're their own kind of spontaneous playwrights. So
Mm,
that's been something that has been like keeping me busy throughout the pandemic, in between virtual performances and
right.
coming around, performing, doing what I do, but in a more virtual setting. And then the other program I worked on was creating a self, sort of like I guess we call it a quarantine magic program, where I was teaching kids how to
Mm.
do magic with household items, and that became another thing that got me really busy. So it's like it's been a very different year, and things are
Well,
starting to finally get busy.
so you're teaching kids how to do magic with items you have at home. I happen to notice that you're at home. Anything around you can show us a little magic with?
Now, why didn't you tell me this ahead of time? I would have gotten something.
I
Do you want
mean,
me to actually
listen.
get up and like get something for? Can you?
If
Can you
you, I'll tell you what. Tell you what. How about this? We have an after party coming up. We'll give you some
all
time.
right. After
In the
party, I
after,
will
is that
show
enough
you a
time?
couple. I'll you know what I'll do for a little fun. I'll even teach everybody a trick. How's that?
Oh my gosh, that's great. Are they going to need anything that they should start gathering now? Should we get them
Let's see. I'm
prepared?
gonna. All right, a toothpick.
Tinfoil.
No, 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 a toothpick.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a toothpick. Some Scotch tape, and then I'm gonna teach everybody. Grab a dollar bill.
Okay.
A
Three
dollar bill.
things: a toothpick, Scotch tape, and a
Yeah.
dollar bill. Maybe
Actually, make
set.
it make it make it $100 bill. They don't need it for the magic, but just send it to me. I'll put my address.
Now that's magic, I'll tell you
That's
that.
a,
Nah, aha,
Ah,
aha, waiter. So all right, Seth, if you wouldn't mind, if you could toss that in the comment box for everyone, toothpick, a dollar bill, and some Scotch tape, and
yeah.
Danny will show us some
I'll
magic
teach
of
you a fun little trick that's really easy to do. I don't want any
all right.
tears.
No,
They
no,
get frustrated if they don't get it right away. So I'm going
no.
to show you a couple of quick, easy, fun little magic tricks that you can do at home.
Do
And
you ever do any, magic that makes kids cry? Is that what you have to make that
yeah,
disclaimer?
that's one of the shows I've been developing while in quarantine.
Do your kids laugh too much? Are
We
they
have a
just
lot of fun.
generally
We have
too
a lot of
happy? Send them to Danny Bacher.
That's
Anyway,
right. That's right.
all right.
And
So I wanna get to you playing and let the folks hear you play in a second, but, I just wanna give people before you do, just take us to your roots, okay? You're born in Wayne, New Jersey. You're going along and you're having, your ruckus childhood
I'm
like.
going along, and the next thing you know, I'm in Patterson. No, no,
Didn't you? I thought you grew up in Wayne. Didn't you grow
I
up in
did. No, you
Wayne?
said I'm going along. So you said you're born in
Oh,
Wayne, you're going along. I said next thing you know, I'm in. Anyway, all right, come on,
all right.
follow me, Marcus.
I'm
Will you?
trying.
All
I'm
right.
trying. I'm trying.
Yeah.
So
You get
my
Marcus to
question to
laugh
you,
on a Thursday. You tell him a joke on the Friday before. Anyway, go ahead. Go
that
ahead.
reminds me. Do you,
Yeah.
like I need anyone to sidetrack me? I sidetrack myself when I talk.
Yeah.
My
You're
goodness. So remember when we started this interview 5 days ago? So
on Mars.
I thought we had the extra time. So
Well, yeah.
little did I know. So no, take me back to your roots. What happened? Why jazz? Why the American Songbook? Why the soprano saxophone? Why?
Yeah.
Who
Why
were the
why
who was the
singing? Why all that stuff?
why
Well,
all that stuff? I know it's your grandparents primarily, but tell us more.
we
In
were very
41
very
minutes or less.
close. What's that?
In 41 minutes or less.
Okay, 41, right. Back to Mars again. Growing up very close to Bloomingdale, New Jersey, where my maternal grandparents lived, we were close with all my grandparents, my father's, but they lived, basically in New York and then in Florida. So we saw them, not as frequently. But, something about that music, being around, especially my mother's father, my grandfather, he studied singing when he was, young. He never had the confidence to pursue it, and he always said
Mm.
that. And he was in the Navy in World War II. But something so important that was always a constant was that music. And it just I remember my brother and I, we spent a lot of time at my grandparents in the summers. They had a pool, so we always went swimming. That was our place to hang out in the summers. And we just constantly listening to like Nat King Cole, Benny Goodman, listening to the big band sound, listening to Frank Sinatra, listening to all these great singers and Joe Williams, Sammy Davis Jr. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I think it was like the Make Believe Ballroom, WNEW used to play that, and then they would put on records. My grandfather had a huge collection of records, and it was just constantly in our ears, always hearing that music, and I liked it, And it was one of those things that, at my age, I was supposed to be listening to things that were popular in like the '80s when I was a kid, and I'm dating myself here, but like people would say,
Listen, if you
I
weren't
mean,
married,
I'm much younger than you, Marcus, but we won't go into that. We're not talking about like the '70s. So, but anyway, I could understand, I could appreciate it, but I was just what I wanted to listen to was that music. I just wanted more and more and more of it. And I remember when I started playing the saxophone, I played alto, like most people start on alto. I was 10 years old, and I used to say to my grandfather, "Can I borrow this record?" Okay, yeah. So he'd give me a record, and I borrow it was like Glenn Miller record or a Benny Goodman record or Count Basie. And I started listening, and I'd start to play well before I could even read music. I would mimic the sounds I would be hearing. So I wouldn't just hear the sax parts, I'd be listening to the melody. Might go to the trumpet section, might go to the trombone section. I'd be playing along with all those melodies well before I could read music. My ears were advanced like that, at a young age. So I was just like learning all these tunes, and I didn't realize it at the time, but kind of like gathering this very large catalog of music from that era, from the Great American Songbook, well before I even kind of realized what I was doing. I just kind of was getting that repertoire and getting that vocabulary together at a very young age, and it just took off. Now, being that I was growing up in Wayne, New Jersey, William Patterson College at the time, now it's a university, is there. And I don't know if you know about that school, but they have one of the world's best jazz programs. So they'd have these amazing guests, like Sonny Rollins would come, Joe Williams would come, Doc Cheatham, Ray Drummond, all these great artists that were in the scene, John Faddis, Byron Stripling. I mean, they had Dizzy Gillespie. They had everybody play at the school. And I was fortunate enough to have parents that took an interest in what I was doing and support what I was doing and take me to these concerts. So
Mhm.
right around the corner from where I grew up, I'm getting to see all these great people and just like they're in your face, and it's like, oh my God, look at this. You know,
Yeah.
Carrie Jackson, all these amazing performers and singers and artists. And it was like kind of like the best of all these worlds because I was doing my theater, doing my comedy, doing interested in all that stuff and the old comedians and watching the Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy, but also like at the same time steeped in that music of that era, but finding jazz and exploring all these great artists that were like right in my backyard. So it was kind of like I was very lucky growing only,
Mm,
growing up 20 minutes from Manhattan. My parents would take me to see
yeah.
shows. We'd go see, jazz shows. We'd see Broadway shows, but then, also get to see them right in my own backyard. So that was nice.
And so from there, but again, you just went right and kept on going, and the
I know. My
soprano
God, I
sax.
talk a lot, don't I?
Well, I was going to mention that too, but but the soprano sax, that you say you started on the alto, but you do so much with the soprano and you are so prolific with it. What about the sopranos? I mean, I know I was always drawn to the tenor, and
Yeah.
a lot of musicians will say like, oh, you tend to be drawn to your voice range, right? You tend to be, drawn to what you feel is an extension of what you produce. And I know you got a pretty wide vocal range. But was that something that the timbre of your tone sets a little higher, and
I
so.
don't think that it had so much to do with that. I mean, what's interesting, you mentioned the voice. The saxophone is the closest instrument to the human voice, which is one of the reasons why the saxophone, whether it's alto, tenor, baritone, soprano, people gravitate towards it because they hear this connection to their own voice, which is really awesome.
Mm,
But I think for me, I play all the horns. I play baritone. I play a lot of tenor. I don't play much alto or baritone anymore, but I've played all of the saxophones, the main four. With There's a couple of reasons why I went to why I gravitated towards soprano. There's a physical and physiological reason, which is the weight of a
mm,
tenor on the
yes,
neck, the weight of it. Seriously, I mean, like I
listen,
remember.
I'm with
I,
you. I have a pre-war con
oh my
that
God,
is it's heavier than it's like 2 or 3 pounds heavier than
yeah,
the Yamahas and the Selmers that are out
yeah.
now, and I feel you, like, every time after I finish practicing,
Oh
it's
yeah.
oof.
Yeah, and it's it does a number. And I remember going to the chiropractor when I was in college, and she's like, "You've got like a neck of a 55-year-old." And the only reason I got excited was I was like, "Great! And in 10 years, my neck can collect Social Security." That's but I remember like, "Oh, this is and a lot of neck problems." So I've started to get into the soprano. Think, okay, it's lighter. I don't need the neck strap. But what's interesting about the soprano is it to me has always been the great challenge of there are so many great sax players that go to the soprano and all of a sudden you go, oh, and this tone is like really like tinny. And I call the soprano the misunderstood creature. It's the ugly stepchild of the saxophone family. And people often just say, oh, get that away from me. I don't like it. And it was this challenge of mine to sort of, I approached the playing of the soprano as a tenor player. And, I look at like someone like Zoot Sims or Lucky
Mhm,
Thompson,
mhm.
who, boys and girls, while you're at home, if you want to write these names down and check out these players, they're two great masters on soprano because they had this gorgeous tone and they approached it like tenor players, like not like playing with this hard kind of like embouchure and getting this really tinny sound. So to me, it was like, okay, I found this thing and it set me apart because not many people play it, and those that do don't necessarily play it well. So I figured everybody and his brother plays tenor, everybody and his brother plays alto, but not everybody plays soprano and plays it well. So for me, it was kind of a nice coupling with what I do as a singer, and it sets me apart. And then it's also like even with Kenny G out there and the popularity of him with the soprano, which is basically like this long straight. People they don't make the connection that it's a saxophone. Oh, saxophone has to be curved. So people will say, "Oh, there's Danny playing that flute again, or playing that clarinet, playing that gold clarinet." And I'm always telling people this is like one of my goals is like to spread the word about the soprano saxophone and say, look, this is not a clarinet. It's close. It's pitched as a B flat instrument. It's got a similar range, but it's a saxophone.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, all right, that's perfect lead in. Let's hear you play. Are you gonna play your latest album, is Still Happy.
That's
Uh,
right.
Are you gonna do something from that album, or are you
I'm
gonna do
going to do a
something
couple. I know that you wanted me to do 2 tunes, so I figured I'd pick 2 from that record and do
perfect?
that. I am working on a new project too, which I don't know if I've told you about, or we're going to talk about that
Let's
later.
talk about that later. I wanna get to some of your playing. So give us a tune now, and we'll talk more after, all
Okay.
right?
It's a little close to my philosophy that I go through in life, and it's called Laughing at Life. Great tune. Billie Holiday, of course, made it a hit in her time, and we'll see. We do a little different approach with the style. So here we go. It's called Laughing at Life. Hmm. If it plays, let's see. It would help if I turned on the speaker here. Okay. Smile a while, laugh in such a happy style that the world will stop and smile with you. Why not grin even when the others win? Smile and take it on the chin. When blue, this is one of those verses that Marcus was talking about. Don't mind the raindrops. Wait till the rain stops. You'll find the sun laughing at life. No road is lonely if you will only smile through your tears, laughing at life. Live for tomorrow, be happy today. You better laugh all your sorrows away. Stop now and cheer up. The skies will clear up. Lose all your blues, laughing at life. No road is lonely if you will only smile through your tears. Laughing at life, the sky will clear up if you're gonna cheer up. You gotta laugh, just start laughing at life. Live for tomorrow, be happy today. You better laugh all your sorrows away. Stop now and cheer up. The skies will clear up. You're gonna lose all your blues. Laughing at life. Laughing at life. Oh, laughing at life. And we're gonna fade it out there.
Yes, Danny Bacher. So
Thank you.
good. So good,
Thank,
brother.
thank you,
Applause,
man. Thank
applause.
you.
Lots of applause. Lots of
Thank you so
applause.
much. It's a
You know,
lovely
it's
tune.
something it's a great tune. You might want to think about doing this music thing for a living. I'm just saying.
I gave it some thought. If
Just think about
the making your finger disappear thing, it doesn't work out, we can always.
it. That trick got me started on but no, you're oh, look at this. Scott Barberino giving you some love, saying Danny Bacher is one of the best all-around entertainers I've had the fortune to see. And I've
Oh,
seen my share for sure. That's true. Scott Barberino has.
oh yeah.
Uh, he says, clap, 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 oi. I hope that's what he meant. Oi.
Clap,
Uh,
clap, clap, oi.
I can't find the clapping. Oh, it's connected to the next sentence. Oi, I can't find the clapping
Yeah.
hands.
No, clap, clap,
Emoji.
clap, oi. That's actually the name of my next album. Is going to be.
I think I
No,
think that's
that's
a
very
great.
sweet, Scott. Thank you. I adore
Look for
Scott. He's
working
such a
with
great
me.
guy and clearly has wonderful taste.
He does,
Um,
and yet he still likes you. So go figure.
and
Um,
he's watching the show. I mean, go figure.
go
Must
figure.
be.
And we got a couple of shout outs to welcome Emma Larson, another fantastic
Oh,
musician.
wonderful, Emma
Uh,
Larson. Hi,
Emma
Emma.
Larson's joining, and Larry Kirshner's here. Of course,
Oh,
Larry.
Larry.
And we got the whole mishpacha is here. Um,
Mishpuchas. Okay, good.
Danny, we're gonna toss up some information about your upcoming show and your album. Seth, if you wouldn't mind, toss that up. We've got Danny Bacher with an album called Still Happy. And you can show Danny all kinds of love and support by sending him some money over at Venmo at Daniel-Backer. And coming up, he's going to be at the Metropolitan Zoom on May 7th.
That's
And
a
you can
virtual
follow.
show. We call it
And
Siete de Mayo, which means absolutely nothing.
I
Well,
thought,
it means the
wow.
7th of May, but
I was going to say, and you can follow Danny on social media there as well. I'm telling you, Danny, this has been a real thrill. And I hope everyone here tunes in to your show at the Metropolitan. I think we have the link that we put up before so they can get to your
yeah,
show.
check it out.
Um,
Metropolitan. They can just go to metropolitanzoom.com too and click
okay,
on the link. On
great. Yeah.
my
And
little poem will be there.
another reason to check out our lovely comment section, because look at that. And just as we speak about it, there is the link. You can just copy paste, take a screenshot, whatever you'd like to do. And you can get to Danny's show on time. Folks, Danny, stick around. You have been an incredible guest. It's wonderful to
Thank you.
see you. And actually, before I let you close out and go have a cup of tea or whatever you're gonna do, there's a little memory I wanted to toss up from many years back of you and I, Seth. I think if you wouldn't mind. Hey, look at that!
Oh my God.
This is for all the friars who are watching.
The
There's a
Stoller
friar,
report. That's a
the
great picture. I
Stoller
love that one.
report.
You have to send that
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
I
So
think I
this is
burned my copy, but now that I'm getting nostalgic, I'd like to.
well, times are hard. You got to create heat somehow. I know.
That's
So,
right. That's right. Great.
but
So
this
long
is
with it.
Mike Stoller has a TV show, a radio show, a podcast. He's all over the place doing his
Is he
Stoller
still
report.
doing that show?
He is, and he
Mhm.
had a bunch of us friars on, and right now there's a little friar gathering happening in Florida, and so, I think there may be some of them watching, and if they are and they'd like to put a little hello out there, great, otherwise, just
Oh,
a
it's
general shout out to the friars. Um, Danny and I are both members. It's actually how we met,
that's right.
you know?
That's right.
It's how we met,
I credit the club for a lot of my connections, and
and
wonderful
misfortunes.
friendships in the business. What'd you say?
I said in misfortunes, I know where you were going. Yeah,
No,
uh,
no, it's been a wonderful place, and I'm glad that I'm doing a show there coming up on May 14th.
that's
So
great, that's great. I'll
it's
get back
called
in
Danny
there.
Backer, fully vaccinated.
Fully protected. I will, I'll get there not from the 14th, but I'll be there, soon enough. My transition will probably take me a little, I gotta feel it
Transition.
out.
You sound like you're passing away. What is it?
Well, you
What?
know what? It's listen, this is it's a strange time. That's all I
I
gotta
know.
say,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
absolutely.
really honestly, people keep asking a lot of questions about that, "When are you gonna do this? When are you gonna do that?" And honestly, I tend to be on the more conservative side, but I also just don't really know until I get in the moment. I might think
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be comfortable, and then I might feel comfortable, and then it could
right.
work the other way, and it's okay to feel more comfortable one day and less comfortable the next
Yeah, you
day.
just bring a
It's
little
just
extra mask, in your pocket or something like that. You just
I'll wear
throw it.
my hazmat suit.
Oh,
It's,
you got your hands. Okay.
which I usually wear for your shows anyway with all your horn,
Well, yeah, with the horn
tripping,
and all that
yeah, all
stuff,
that
and
stuff,
the
yeah.
spitting. When I start doing the Jewish jokes, out comes I feel like we're in temple.
Oh my god. All right, Danny, I gotta go. All right, listen, you stick
I'm
around, don't go
staying, right?
anywhere. You're staying. You just go out. Seth's gonna put you in the timeout chair for a minute. You stick
Okay.
around though.
Is it like the green room? Can I have a nosh or something?
You can go have a nosh, exactly. Go in the green room. We'll come back to you just momentarily. Folks, here we are. We're closing out the first part of the show. If you've had a great time, I'm so glad to hear it. If you would like, we have some CDs, we have some merchandise as well of my own stuff. I have 5 albums out, and some merchandise from the Veterans Project as well. Seth, if you wouldn't mind tossing all that stuff up there for people to see and check out. All those records are available on my website. They're also available for streaming wherever you like. The Veterans album, all the way on the far side of your screen there, Carry You On. We do donate half the proceeds of every album sale to a wonderful charity named Iraq Afghanistan Veterans of America. That's IAVA. You can get more information about what that project is all about on my website as well, which is right there, marcusgoldhaber.com. If you have enjoyed yourself so much and you're thinking, my God, I just need to do more. What more can I do? Well, here's a way you can support the series, and you can throw a little love my way as well. After you've supported Danny, of course, after you've picked up a couple of albums, and you'd like to send some love over to me, this is how you can do it. And of course, you're watching on YouTube, so we'd love you to make sure and subscribe to our channel so you'll get notifications of videos that are coming up and whatnot. And of course, when we go live, and also to those folks on Facebook, a big hello to you there. You can follow us there and make sure to like and share and all that kind of stuff, whatever your platform is of choice. Now, we started this first part with a game called Name That Verse. And you out there who are the winner, who are the winner? You out there, Mr. Winner, I've been noticing, and you did guess correctly. So if you're just joining us now, the verse that I gave you before, I'm not going to play it for you now. Actually, why not? What? Throw up that graphic here. Name that verse part 2, Seth. We got that video. Toss that one. All right. See, that was pretty painless. So here we go now. This is the verse that I gave everyone. We went with, was it in Tahiti? Were we on the Nile long, long ago? Say an hour or so. I recall that I saw your smile. And of course, this is the verse too. I remember you. You're the one who made my dreams come true a few kisses ago. Anyway, we had a correct answer with Scott Barbarino. So thank you, Scott Barbarino. You are the winner. And also, you get the prize for the most guesses, too. So Scott will touch base about how you'd like your donation to Samaritans to appear anonymously or with your name on it. And of course, if you'd like one of my very own Marcus Goldhaber CDs, um, you are welcome to it, and we'll email about that. Folks, we've come to the end of our first part. And it's been so much fun. Danny, has been a blast. I almost got a couple of questions out too. I hope you've enjoyed getting to know Danny. Uh, we've got a great show for you next week. Next week, we're going to be welcoming Freddie Bryant to the program on May the 10th. That's the day after Mother's Day, of course. Special Mother's Day show. And don't forget, we do have an after party coming up, which I know Danny and I were talking about. So you want to stick around for that. Does this feel a little Mr. Rogers-y to you? That's what I was going for. So we got a lot more to get to. But first, we've come together for a moment today. Young ones and some who would rather not say. Finding connection isn't easy, I know. And that's why I created this show. See you next week, unless you stick around for the after party. Bye-bye. Everybody loves a perfect theme song, a melody that stays inside your heart. You might have a nice show and others may think so, but if you want a great connection right from the start, then you gotta have a perfect theme song, so everyone can sing along from home. And while they are singing, the ratings you'll bring in, all because the melody is stuck in their head. You can make the bridge sound Jewish, that would be fine, long as it's familiar but newish. Everyone's falling in line, all because you got a perfect theme song, accompanying the audience for years. And when the show is over, it won't be the end, because the perfect theme song's a life-lasting friend. And speaking of friends, he's your host and MC, 'cause Mondays with Marcus is now a live stream. Whoa, 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 yeah. I'll walk with a smile on my face. I'm walking all over the place. I feel like there's nothing that can bother me at all. I whisper hello to a girl. She offers to give it a whirl. Holding hands, we stroll along the way. Say, I like how I feel, as long as I am falling in love. I put in a long day at work, and I can feel everything hurt, when suddenly there's a pair of eyes looking at me. And even before I can think, she offers to buy me a drink. Holding hands, we stroll along the way. See, I like how I feel, as long as I am falling in love. Now I don't mind the afterwards, when lovers get much closer, as long as I keep falling down with no weight on my shoulders. I love when my happiness soars and destiny opens the doors. My world is completely filled with possibility. For even a brush past my skin, and I can feel something within, quivering, delivering a sigh. Oh my, I like how I feel, as long as I am falling in love. That's Mr. John Davis. Yeah. Oh, I don't mind the afterwards when lovers get much closer, as long as I keep falling down with no weight on my shoulder. Hollow when my happiness soars and destiny opens the doors. My world is completely filled with possibility. For even a brush past my skin, and I can feel something within, quivering, delivering a sigh. Whoa, my, I like how I feel, as long as I am falling in love, in love. Said I like how I feel, as long as I am falling in love. Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Well, welcome back to the after party. It's so nice to see you. Thanks so much for sticking around. We're hanging out here with Mr. Danny Bacher and company. And that song is a song I wrote many, many years ago, probably around 2014, I think is when I wrote that one. Put it on one of my albums called A Lovely Way to Spend an Evening. And that's, of course, available for streaming and buying and all kinds of consumption. But this was a song that was also featured in a movie that was put on by Emblem Productions. It's called "Going Down in La La Land." Um, and disclaimer: it does have a little bit of adult material, but not too adult. But it does have a rating. So I just want to say that right now for all you parents out there. But hey, listen, film's a film, and it's actually a pretty good film. But the album, A Lovely Way to Spend an Evening, is available, like I said, on my website, Spotify, and iTunes, Apple Music, etc., and so forth. Folks, this after party normally would be happening at a jazz club that I launched back in 2019 called Room 623. Room 623 is a beautiful speakeasy joint that was just about to celebrate its 1 year anniversary on April the 5th of 2020. And of course, we had to shut down in March. And I'm happy to say that it was a temporary shutdown as we've been able to keep things in motion and in place so that we'll be able to reopen again. I do not have a date, so please don't ask me just yet. But that's what the club looked like, and but that's just on an average, night. It was always just high level positive energy. People just always left feeling better than when they arrived. Of course, that is there's our PayPal information and the website in case you'd like to give us a little support, help us get off the ground. Like many of the clubs, we are having to reinvent, what it means to go to a jazz club, and our brand was really all about close, immersive jazz, and it's a small room, so we're in the process of doing quite a bit so that we can make sure it's safe for everyone to gather, because we want you to be able to relax when you're there, and and have a great time. That's what the club is all about. So that's room 623. And Danny, my guest here, Danny Bacher, has played there. So speaking of Danny Bacher, hey, it's Danny
Hey,
Bacher.
oh,
Oh,
I just happened to be in the neighborhood.
I'm so glad you stopped by. I mean, my
Yeah,
goodness, you know,
I
otherwise
was in Wayne and I was going along and past
you were going
Patterson. And
along. Exactly. Now, if you weren't sticking around, I mean, you're making references now, so the people will only get them if they were in the first half of the show.
well,
But that's
shame on them
okay.
if they're coming and tuning in now. They missed my first song, and they
Listen.
missed your wonderful theme song. I love that theme song, Mark. You always impress me with your songwriting skills,
Oh, thanks, Danny. You know,
your 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 troubadourian skills. I always enjoy them.
I would love for you, and I'm making this an official invite here, so I can't go back on it. I would love for you to play on that song. I would love to hear you have you know, just it feels like you'd have just the right touch for that. So I'd love to at
Oh,
some point
sure.
have you. So we'll work that out somehow remotely. We'll figure something out
Yeah.
to get you to solo on that at some point or whatnot. It'd be a fun
Maybe
time.
I'll come over one day and I'll be able, I can stay as a guest in your ceiling.
Exactly. We have a little compartment up there just for you. We'll slide you in there.
Is there oxygen too, or that's sort of like you have to pay extra for?
Yeah, it's like that Bruce Willis movie, The Fifth Element, when he goes on that, you know, transport device and they put him in the thing and they hit the button and it puts him to sleep right away. That's what we do. Put you in a little pod and knock you out in a little compartment.
I never saw it.
It's an obscure movie reference. I
Is it
just realized that after it came out of my mouth, but
not as obscure as the other movie you were talking about? What was
I
that
don't even
called?
know what movie was I talking about. That
The
was
one
like
where your
41
song is
minutes
in.
ago.
The song.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's we'll talk more about that film later, perhaps.
Yeah,
But you have to rewind the tape. But
yeah. It's the Marcus Goldhaber story. It's NC-17 rating.
the film does have an NC-17 rating, but it's just, you know, it's a story of a young male actor who goes out to Hollywood to, you
Oh,
know,
say
make
no
it.
more. We've all
Yeah.
been there. We've all been.
Oh yeah, it was after right after Patterson, you took a left turn and
That's right. Took a left
yeah.
turn on Route 80 and made it out to California.
That's where you end up. That's where you end up. All right, so listen, I want to ask you about this project you're working on. You're writing a musical, and I want you to tell people about it because I think it's
Yes, hopefully
fantastic.
Larry Kirshner is still watching because he likes
Hopefully,
to
he
hear
is.
his own name. He told me that. No, Larry's a very good friend of mine and a wonderful composer. He's written so many great tunes, and he never rare he rare. I don't think he's ever really collaborated with other people. He's a guy who does music and lyrics. And a while back, I came to him with this idea of a musical, and it's sort of an interesting story. It takes place in World War II during World War
We'll
II.
be the judge of that. I'm just
It's actually about a young boy who goes to Hollywood. And wait a minute, no, that's been
I got
he
just the song.
yeah, it deals with like during World War II, all these musicians, these male musicians were being drafted and sent overseas, but there was this tremendous need for swing music to be performed for the people on the home front. So all these female musicians started forming these bands, and there were these great swinging bands with like all these girl, they call them girl musicians, girl singers, girl players, girl saxophonists. That's what they called them at the time. And the idea is an all-female band, and this actually happened in our country, and no one talks about it. It's so infrequently brought up, and I think it's such an amazing little blip of history, and I wanted to focus on that. So the idea was to do a comedy, musical comedy with this theme. So it's like kind of like a League of Their Own, but with female musicians.
I love
And
it.
Larry is such an authentic. He approaches swing music with a very authentic touch, and I feel he and I both kind of understand the music on a very authentic and deep level. And that's why I said, look, let's do it together. We'll work on the music together, we'll work on the lyrics together, and we've got our sixth number already written for the show, and we're very excited about it. We're doing a
And it's all
pitch,
new music, right? This is
all
all
brand new music,
all
yeah. But it
brand new
sounds
music.
like it was written in the '40s. That's the whole idea.
Okay, that's
We
what I
want
was
people
my
to
next
think that we
question.
ripped somebody off, but it really is all Larry and I.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you ripping people off is sort of, I mean, that's kind of part of your brand, but well,
Well, it
that's
is,
another
yeah. That's
show.
kind of like, yeah, that's my mantra.
It's your mantra. So
Mantra, mantra.
you're sticking in the 40s. Do you pay homage to the Boswell sisters, the Andrews? I mean,
I
what
mean,
are
I think
your
they're all kind of in there in some way, but I don't, we're kind of early on the story stages yet. We have rough ideas of the story and kind of where it's going.
Mhm.
We've got some writers that are interested in looking at doing some treatments. So, but I've got the basic idea of it, and we've started writing. there's a lot of themes. Obviously, World War II themes. It's like the love being overseas and fighting. Will they come home? In spite of that, it's still light and funny. There's a lot of humor to it. We wrote a song called "You Can't Ration Love." We were talking about rationing, and back in the time they're rationing all these things, but you can't ration love. So that to me was a great title, and we
Do
took it from
you
there.
do you know that's how M&M's got its start?
Eminem's got its start.
Yeah, they used to be army rations, and that's part of it. Look up the etymology of look up the history of M&M's.
Yeah, I
It's
had an
a
uncle that was not very intelligent in the war, and apparently he threw out all the ones that had W's on them.
there you go. Well, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree, I
Well,
suppose. So,
clearly.
oh well,
Hey,
that's
this is
excellent. Do you have
Mondays
a
with Marcus.
title?
It's like I might as well hang out with Don Rickles over here.
I'm being a lot nicer than I could be.
That's true.
But
That's true. If
maybe
we
we'll keep
only
the
knew the
camera
answer.
rolling for the post show. Um, so, um, the roast show. So does the show have a title?
Yeah, right now the working title, and it may be the title, is Swing Sisters.
Ah, okay, I like
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
mean, when I think of you, I think Swing Sisters. So,
that's right. Well,
that's
actually, I was thinking of you when we came up with the title. I
nice.
was
Well, that's
thinking of our nights at the Friars Club, Thursday nights
yeah,
in
pretty
the
much
red
what we do.
convertible. It was
In 2020,
with
there's a
Lulu.
little known
Anyway,
in 2020 there's a little known jazz magazine. It's called Jazz Times,
yeah.
and they had a readers poll. You may have heard, and this readers poll had the audacity to select you as one of the top three best male jazz vocalists in the company of Kurt Elling and somebody named Tony Bennett.
No, he was number
Now,
4 actually. To be he,
wow.
I mean, it's Tony Bennett, but it was actually Gregory Porter was
Oh, it
number
was
1.
Gregory Porter was number 1.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Kurt Elling was number 2.
Well,
Yours
Tony
truly
Bennett's
number
just
3.
alright, so you were number 3 and in the company of those 4,
That's right.
Gregory Porter, Kurt Elling, and Tony Bennett, and Danny Bacher. So my question for you is, how do you think that made them feel?
I mean, probably they probably like looked at the list and said, "Who?"
Who?
No,
Uh,
I
no,
mean,
Danny,
we all
that's
kind of mutually respect one another in this field, and
you
everyone's a
know,
different kind of. That was a thrill for me. That was a real thrill,
it was
and clearly,
fantastic.
yeah,
I mean, it's amazing. I mean, kidding aside, that's huge.
yeah.
Jazz Time's been around forever, and their
Yeah, it's definitely
readership.
one of the big contenders as far as like jazz publications in the country, probably the world. You think of Jazz Times, Downbeat, right? Jazz is those are the big three. And I've been lucky enough to be in both Jazz is and Jazz Times several times. Not Downbeat, I don't believe yet, but we're getting there.
We'll put a call out for you. We'll
Please
we'll have your
talk to your
agent do it.
people. Maybe you can talk to your
Anyway,
people call their people.
I did wanna congratulate you for that again
Thank
publicly. I
you,
think that's fantastic, and,
thank you. That
um,
was exciting.
so, and if you ever have anyone out there, if you ever have any doubt about just how good Danny is, just ask him. He'll tell you.
I'm happy to tell. And better yet, I'll direct you to my mother, and she'll
There
really
you
give you the
go.
full.
There
She'll
you
give
go.
you the full
Um,
skinny on.
so this is a time I like to open it up because obviously you and I have a hard time coming up with our own conversation. So,
Very shy.
I like to open it up to any questions that we have, and, forgive me, Seth, I haven't been, as attentive to the comments
Is
box.
he still
So
here?
oh my gosh. We got about 100 people watching, and we want to know if there are any questions from them. We get them from Facebook, we get them from YouTube, all over the place. People text me questions. So if there are any questions that anyone has for Mr. Danny Bacher, please let me know. Or Seth, if you have any that you've flagged and you want to
Or if
toss
you
them
have
up
any
there.
questions for Gregory Porter or Kurt Elling, I'm happy to answer those as well.
He can answer, or if you want, we can get them on real quick. I'm sure,
Sure.
about Gregory Porter.
Seth says
Um,
none have come up yet. No questions have come up.
oh,
That's
okay.
about right. That's about right for me.
Yeah. Well, I
You
mean,
know,
listen, like I said, you're not that interesting. So,
true, true.
but so I have more questions for you though. You've been doing a lot of remote performing. Any remote recording? Have you done any remote recording this year?
I did a couple of things. We actually did something just recently. It's so funny. They had all these people on, like Tony Orlando and Tom Wopat and Melissa Errico and Melissa Manchester, and they asked me to be in. My friend Deborah Silver. Do you know Deborah Silver, singer
Uh,
and song?
not
She wrote
personally.
this song. It's called the COVID-19 Blues, and they put this out for like the Jazz Foundation for like donations, and it's like
Nice.
a charity thing. And they wanted me to jump on. Alan Harris is on it, and they had me sing some stuff on it. It's fun. It was really fun little catchy COVID-19 blues, very very topical. And so I was on that recently, and but I haven't done. It's funny. My next record project, I'm very excited about that, and I'm working on it now. It's actually going to be a Harry Nilsson project. I don't know if you know
Oh,
Harry Nilsson.
wow. Of course I do.
So what a great songwriter,
Oh,
And I
he's
love
so
the fact that
prolific.
he was just a really intelligent songwriter, really interesting stuff, but also usually very humorous. And I love the humorous aspect of what he did with the music. And I feel like his music is ripe for a jazz tribute. No one's ever done that. I've never heard a full Nielsen project. So I just felt this was something I really want to do. I've loved him since I was a kid, like watching movies like Popeye and The Point and listening to these scores. He has a very distinct
Mm.
sound, and a lot of crossover with like the Beatles. There's a lot of influence there. He the Beatles loved him. He loved the Beatles.
Wasn't his famous song "Everybody's
Well, he didn't write that one, but
Talking"?
that was one of his famous
I thought he
performing
wrote that.
songs.
He didn't
No,
write
he
that.
actually wrote the song "I Guess the Lord Must Live in New York City," which
Right.
has a similar vibe, and it did end up in the movie, I believe. But yeah, that was the one that was not as
Midnight
popular.
Cowboy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
John Voight breakout. That was John Voight's breakout.
that's right, that's
Yeah.
right. Some people wish that he hadn't broken out. But
Oh, poor John Voight. No one's safe. Not on this show.
I met him. I met him in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah?
hmm
A
I'd
small
rather
little
have met his
plug.
daughter.
Small little plug. Speaking of Hollywood, Danny Bacher as a lyricist. I did not mention you as a lyricist before, but you wrote some very clever lyrics to "Hooray for Hollywood,"
Oh
and it's a
yeah,
great.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
on your Still Happy record, right? That's
That's
the
right.
record.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
a,
wanted to update it. God and Johnny Mercer, forgive me. It was
I
one
think you
tune
got to
where I
put that
felt.
in reverse order. Put that in
That's
reverse
right.
order.
That's true.
Yeah,
Or they may be one and the same, depending on who you pray to.
yeah.
So,
Okay. So, well, why do you need forgiveness? What did you do? What
well,
did you do
the only
wrong?
reason I say that is just because I feel like Johnny Mercer, who I basically worship. I felt like if there was a lyric that he wrote that needed like slight updating, it was "Hooray for Hollywood," just because there were a lot of topical things at the time, like Amy Semple. People don't even know who Shirley Temple is. A lot of times these days, you mention it, they think, "Isn't that a drink you get at a bar mitzvah?"
Sure, sure.
So I don't know. Do they even call it Shirley Temple anymore? I don't know.
I think it's Miss Shirley Temple. I think you have to go to dinner first to get familiar and get that.
What are you, her agent? What? Anyway,
I'm
so
just saying, Miss Temple prefers that you address her by the
oh,
proper
oh,
name. She
thank you,
gets
thank you.
and billing and front row to every show. Just saying.
So,
Does
so
that? I
I
don't know
just
why I
I
went
wanted to
there.
have some fun with it and update it. So I did a little bit of Mercer and a lot of me in that number, and did it.
Yeah, that was a lot
Um,
of fun. All right, Danny, it's time for you to sing and play again. What are you going to do for us?
all right, let's see.
Oh,
Speaking of
yeah,
original,
yeah. Sing first, and then we'll get some magic afterwards. That'll be good.
yeah, I did promise I was going to teach you guys a little trick. So,
Yes, you
all
did.
right. So for the next tune I was going to do, I wanted to do one of my originals, so one that I wrote the lyrics and music to, and this is the title track to the Still Happy record. So, let's see if I got everything set up here. Here we go. The nice bluesy kind of number. My analyst hates me, and I'm filled with self-doubt. I took my date to see a film. The show was sold out. I'm fighting with depression, and I might lose the bout. In spite of all this, I'm still happy. When I need a laugh, I watch the 10 o'clock news. Like I spend about half my time just wrestling the blues. My dog just left a gift inside my favorite shoes. In spite of all this, I'm still happy. Sometimes it seems that life isn't fair, but woe is me is just a point of view. The secret of this life is having someone to share, 'cause misery's more fun when there's two. I took a vacation and the whole week it rained. Romantic evenings always end with a girl who's abstained. With all things going wrong, I really hate to complain. In spite of all this, I'm still happy. Now let's see. In But le baba do ba zit beat bria ba yo ba da zed baba dia baba. Squeak week table table in the baba do ba o ba da. For ba da 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 baba do da do bla bla ba dip. Blip it did it did it did it did it damn sing the baba do da did drip. You know, I met this gal once. She said to me, "Skilly bit it did it did it down sit the baba do da did," and I said. She said, so let did it, spite of all this, I'm still happy. Spite of all this, I'm still happy. Sometimes it seems that life isn't fair, but woe is me is just a point of view. The secret of this life is having someone to share, 'cause misery's more fun when there's two. It's always the same, I'm just a guy who can't win. The crowds I choose to run with, I don't seem to fit in. Like I have said before, and I will say it again. In spite of all this, I'm still happy. Forgive me for sounding too sappy. Believe when I say, oh, I'm still happy.
All right, Danny. That's Danny Bacher
That
playing live
was.
for us here. Man, it's so beautiful. It's such a great tune for you because, after seeing your shows, I know this from personally seeing them and from what other people say. I always walk out feeling great. And
Thank you.
and the music you sing is relevant and timeless. And I think we need that. I think this is when
It's
I
upbeat.
said,
You know, we got to have that upbeat thing happening. I think
well,
right now, especially, we need that mood lifting, you know?
there's mood lifting and a reality that yeah, there's acceptance and uplifting. It's like wherever anyone is okay, and you make people feel better, and then you
Oh,
make me feel better, kiddo. Keep
thank
doing it.
you.
Keep doing it.
Thank you. I'm going to keep
You're
doing it.
doing great. We're going to toss up the information for people about Still Happy right now so they can check out and get their own copy. It's a really great album. It really is it's one you put on and smile. That's what you do. Danny's
Yeah.
got
And
an
then you
upcoming
got
show.
Swing That Music, too, my first record. Don't forget about
That's
that one, you
true.
know?
That's true. That's true. Dan, I want to tell people about your upcoming show again, Metropolitan Zoom on May the 7th, or Cinco de Siete, which Danny says means absolutely nothing, but
No,
I
no,
think
no, no. Siete de Mayo.
whatever.
Oh,
See, I took French, so I never got into Spanish. So listen, but thank you so much for coming on today. It's been a real treat and fun to connect like this with you,
my pleasure. My
folks.
pleasure. Do you want to
If
see that little? I'll teach you that trick real quick.
Yes, so now we have a special moment we're going to add in here. It's Danny's magic. I'm sorry, I don't have a graphic for you, Danny,
Well,
but
shame on you.
shame on me. Um, so yes, my dad says magic time, and
Magic time. Do you have your kids? Do you have your
so
your
yes, so
little
Danny.
your materials?
While Danny gets prepared, you need a toothpick.
I'm just
You
showing
need
you
a
the toothpick here. I'm trying to. So
Oh,
it's
good.
really easy. I
Tell you
just
what,
take a little bit of.
let's give Danny the whole screen. Go ahead, give Danny the whole screen, Seth, and he can. There you go.
Yeah. So I'm trying to like see this. I feel like a Muppet. I'm a Muppet performer right now, trying to like see the
You look
camera
like
moving opposite. But I've got this little, toothpick here, and I just have a little dust. You don't see it; it's magic dust. I'm just going to sprinkle it on the top like this, blow my hand, and show you that it's actually disappeared completely. There's actually no toothpick, but I will bring it back just like that, and it's in my hand. See? So one more time, like that, and it's gone. It's literally gone. It actually fell. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
da 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 da
Da,
da
da,
da da
da,
da.
da,
I could
da.
give you some music, it's like
There we go. That's right. Come on. Where's my? You know what it is? It's my hands are so sweaty from performing that this is. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. The good thing that this wasn't this is an extra, not something you actually hired me to do today. So you got this right here. You got the little thing. It goes like that, and it's gone. Right. You bring it right back, and it's back. So it's very easy to do. This is an easy trick. You just tape this right to your thumb. Right. So you're basically taping with some Scotch tape, and then you tape it with the point down like that, and that's how it goes. So when you close your hand, it's there. It looks like you're holding it. Now it looks like it's gone, right? So really fun little easy trick to do. You tell the kids, show your kids, show the grandkids, they love it. All right, so that's that trick. The other one I'm going to show you. This is kind of a cool, and this is a little bit of a trick one here for you. So you got the dollar bill, right? And there's regular dollar bill, both sides, just like that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold the dollar bill, just fold it in on itself. So it's kind of like a small little, right? And this is kind of like harkening back to the golden age of magic when they used to do these big illusions on the stage, right? And in this case, you're sort of going to levitate the dollar. Just imagine like they were levitating a lady back in the early, 1900s, and then you're gonna just sort of will your one hand to move away, and you're gonna levitate the dollar. Notice there's no strings attached or anything like that, and you're just levitating the dollar. Okay, you guys try that at home with the dollar bill? Yes. Yeah,
that's
you're just doing
amazing.
that. Did
That's
you try it,
amazing.
Marcus? Marcus, why don't
I
you
don't
get a dollar bill
I don't have
and
any
go?
money.
Oh, don't give me
Oh,
that poor
baby, what
artist
I
bull
couldn't
crap.
do
Come
with
on,
plenty
you don't
of
have
money
any.
in you. Literally, I don't the dollar bills that I have are,
Well, use a
not
higher bill.
what's that?
You've got money. You got a $20 bill.
I am locked into my bunker here, and I can't access my money,
Oh,
which
Seth,
I do
Seth,
for
let's put
safety.
Seth on. Seth, you got a dollar bill?
I don't even have anything that simulates it.
Seth,
Will it work
No,
with a piece of paper?
I got nothing.
I gotta start hanging around with wealthier people. What is this nonsense?
How about a piece of paper? Will it work with just a regular
No,
piece of
that's
paper?
okay. I'm just trying to show you. You can do this trick, and
If
it's
you
really
told
kind
me
of
in
fun.
advance.
Now look, you're the one who told me to do magic. I had to run in my closet and get some. So look, so what I'm doing here, just so you know, the gag is you hide the quarter inside. You're doing that as a counterweight. Normally, what happens is you do the trick for someone, and then when you hand them the dollar, you let the quarter slip out in the hand, and they can't do it. See, they have no way to do it. But the way I'm making it work is I put the quarter in. It would be if we had planned this, Marcus.
Yes.
Well, then we could have had you with the dollar, and we could have done it together, and they would have seen the whole. But anyway,
Next
that's what you
time,
get.
Mondays
That's
with
what you get for
Marcus.
nothing.
It'll be magic with Marcus. How
Magic
about
with
that?
Mondays, magical Mondays.
You realize that the past like 4 or 5 series that I've produced, they all have to be alliterations. I
I
think I
know, I
mentioned kind of
know, I know,
listen, you gotta use what you got to get what you want,
I
you
know,
know?
I know. I'm waiting for muck or mud,
Yeah, all right. Yeah, remind me
marsh.
not to call you when I need to
Mar-
produce my next one.
I'm just
Yeah,
thinking of
I
M
got a
words.
great idea. It's called Muck with Marcus. It's gonna be great. It's a real
This could
yeah.
be like the after part. But anyway, what else?
All
What
right.
else are we doing?
Well,
Is this
all
it?
right. That's it, Danny. Danny Bacher with the magician extraordinaire. You're amazing. I'm so grateful for you for coming on. You've been a fantastic guest. Um, we're
Anytime,
gonna
Marcus. Thank you for having me.
we're
You're
gonna check
wonderful.
you out on May 7th at the Metropolitan Zoom. We've gone way over time, but it's been well worth it. So thank you
Fun, fun.
again.
Oh my God, it's
Lots-
almost 7 o'clock.
I
God,
know, and you never even know. It's like we're on Mars. I didn't even know where
that's
the
right.
time
An
went.
extra 40 minutes,
See what I
just like
did?
that.
Bring it all back to the beginning there. All right,
Love to
Danny
you and to
Bacher.
your lovely lady.
Thank you,
And
and to
thank
you as
thank you for
well. Please
having
tell
us.
Erin I said hello,
I
and
will. She
we'll
sends her
see you
love.
again We'll see you again real soon. Be safe, okay?
Thank you.
Folks, we thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Mondays with Marcus. If you'd like to support the series, here once again is how you can do that. Toss up those links. And of course, you've seen all the Venmo and PayPal links before.
And somebody, please send Marcus $1. The man needs a dollar bill.
All I need is $1 just to do some magic, for crying out loud.
If he can swing at a quarter.
$1.25 is really what I need. It costs less. It costs more to ride the subway than it does to do your magic tricks.
If you'd like to feed Marcus for just 1 minute, for like just 5 minutes, send $1.
Please, if you don't mind.
Like Sally Struthers over here. Right.
Somebody got to get the hook here. Folks, wherever you are, I hope that you stay safe. This is a very unknown period of time, an unknown transition. We're in uncharted waters, and I just want you to know you're not alone. And whatever you're feeling is okay. There it is. This is how it should be.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, folks. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful night on behalf of Danny and Seth and I. Thank you, Seth, and the Mondays with Marcus Orchestra. We really appreciate you being here tonight.
And in the box, we love you.
Tune in again next week. We're going to welcome Freddie Bryant to the show on May 10th for our Mother's Day edition. And that's all I have for you tonight, folks. Have a wonderful night. Take care. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, all the mothers.
Everybody loves a perfect theme song, a melody that stays inside your heart. You might have a nice show and others may think so, but if you want a great connection right from the start, then you gotta have a perfect theme song, so everyone can sing along from home. And while they are singing, the ratings you'll bring in, all because the melody is stuck in their head. You can make the bridge sound Jewish, that would be fine, long as it's familiar but newish, everyone's falling in line. All because you got a perfect theme song, accompanying the audience for years. And when the show is over, it won't be the end, because the perfect theme song's a life-lasting friend. And speaking of friends, he's your host and MC, 'cause Mondays with Marcus is now a live stream.